welcome back, everybody, to the Info Dump, an info sharing podcast where entrepreneurship meets neurodiversity. I'm your host, Ashley Pugh, and I'm also thrilled to be able to introduce a special guest today, licensed social worker and certified aromatherapist, the warm and inspirational Danielle Nelson, also widely recognized online as Natural Ally D. So in today's episode, we will learn more about Dani's captivating story where, fueled by a very deep passion for helping others, she has chosen to combine the realms of social work and aromatherapy. We'll also talk to Dani about how she aids neurodivergent business owners and those navigating the complexities of remote work. And she's going to equip us with some more tools that we can carry in our toolkit, so to speak, to help reduce anxiety, achieve balance, and conquer the challenges of a busy and hectic personal and work life. So drawing from her unique perspective, Dani is going to share some practical tips, some practical advice that promises to enlighten and inspire. Grab your headphones, settle in, because it is now time for a little info dumping. All right, everybody. So today I have with me Dani Nelson, also known as Natural Ally D. She's a licensed social worker and certified aromatherapist, and she is going to be talking to us today about how we can reduce the anxiety and overwhelm using aromatherapy in the workplace or in business. So welcome, Miss Dani. It's so good to have you on here with me.
Oh, my pleasure. I thank you so much for inviting me. I love what you're doing on the info dump and sharing information with neurodivergent community and sharing business, ideas and tips and what you're doing. So I thank you so very much for having me.
No, thank you. Yeah. And I'm so excited because we'll get to talking about this a little later on, but you have a couple of things coming up that are really special.
Yes.
One's going to be at the end of the month, and then a little surprise that you'll be talking about later on that's going to be coming out. Is it October?
October.
Oh,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say little. That's the big one. Yeah, in October. So yes, I wanted to have you on. I wanted to get you on so that we could talk about those things.
Okay.
But to lead up to that, I do have some questions for you.
Okay.
And the first one is just to start it off. What was it exactly that inspired you to get into this field, to become a licensed social worker, and then to go ahead and pursue a certification for aromatherapy? What was it that moved you to do that?
I tell people, I think about it and I tell people that actually social work chose me. Mm-hmm. So when I was going to school, I was not going to school for social work in the beginning. Some people matriculate through their bachelor's in social work and get their master's. Yes. That was not me. I actually started off in engineering.
Really?
Started off, pivoted.
Yes.
I was taking some psychology courses along with the engineering.
Yeah.
And fascinated by that, got my BA in psych.
Okay.
Then started working in the public sector. Mm-hmm. Started working in the public housing sector here in Michigan and city Detroit, and realized that I needed to know more. I'm like, okay, I'm working with this population, and I just felt that I just didn't have enough skills or knowledge to be a part of the population. So
right.
Pivoted, went from the city and started working for state government. And then the state government was offering free education. And that's one of the things you can get me excited. When you have free and education in the same sentence, I'm all over it, right? So they were offering tuition reimbursement, significant amount. And because I was working in the public sector, I was having my student loans forgiven.
Wow. Okay.
So that was a big bonus for me.
That's a huge bonus.
And so that percentage would happen over a course of time, however long you were there. So then as soon as I qualified for partial tuition reimbursement, I was all over it. So I went back, they helped pay for my master's degree and all the other certifications that go along with it, because and the rest is history. So after I finished my master's in social work, became a licensed social worker. I've been working in the field for almost 20 years. And then I came across the opportunity to hear a presentation about aromatherapy. You know how one of those random things you might be on Facebook scrolling and, and I am part of a organization where they sell nutrition and essential oils. And so the brand ambassador for this company, I was on Facebook and they were saying they were having a retreat. Okay. Mind you, she's a master herbalist and a certified aromatherapist, but she lives in Utah. So she was coming to Michigan for a weekend retreat.
So she was going to Michigan.
Yeah, so she lives in Utah, but she was actually flying here to Michigan to give this weekend retreat in aromatherapy. And when I was scrolling through Facebook, I'm like, it's going to be here. You know how you see something,
yes,
that's for you. Well, I tell you, exactly. I saw it and I said, I need to be there. I didn't know how I was going to get there. Because at the time I was not feeling my best. I was, health wise. And I had just made up in my mind, when I get ready to do something, I'll be be like, okay, if this happens, I can do this. If that happens, because I was driving
by myself. You were already working it out. Okay.
Yes, it was like 2.5 hours away. And I said, well, if I don't feel well and I need to stop, I'll just pull over here, take a minute. I had already mapped out, but I was going.
Came up with the plan.
I was going. Went to this weekend retreat. And after she was all done, she was offering opportunity for us to be a part of her new school. I was like, and then because I realized after the end of the retreat, I didn't have a clue about essential oils and aromatherapy. I thought aromatherapy, Ashley, was the plug-ins you put in the wall that you get from the grocery store or the aerosol spray.
Right. And I don't think you're alone. I think that's how it is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And so she offered the school and I ran with it. And the rest is history. I graduated and I've been sharing ever since. So, yeah, started sharing with my faith family, then broadened it out to, I jumped, if you will, like a baby bird out of a nest and started a YouTube channel. So random for me. Going through this 5-day challenge. And at the end of the 5 days, I had a YouTube channel combining social work and aromatherapy. And I have been doing that ever since April of 2021.
Okay. And what a beautiful blend it is, because they really do go hand in hand. They really can go hand in hand.
That is my hope. That is my hope that I feel like what I know in social work can be a benefit to those I'm trying to serve as aromatherapist and vice versa. Exactly. So realize that they complement each other when you can see the person for not just what they're saying, but what they're not saying. Exactly. And with your trained eye and skill in listening. That's one of my, that you can help somebody, the best of my ability. Yeah.
Exactly. And what you said earlier, let me go back to what you were saying earlier. Yeah. So many people do not understand or do not realize exactly how aromatherapy can be incorporated and exactly what it is and how it can help them. Because I'm like you. So fortunately, I now know what aromatherapy can do and what it really is. But I remember back in the day, before I even became interested in it, I was like you. I thought, oh, okay, it's really just all about, smell goods and this and that, and maybe splashing a little lavender spray on your pillow. But it really is more to it. And the ways in which it can help you mentally, emotionally, physically are just innumerable once you really think about it.
Yes.
And how you can personalize it. It can be personalized for each individual, each person, and whatever situation they're dealing with. Right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, let me ask you this, and that leads to my next question. How do you see aromatherapy fitting into a self-care routine, and especially here at the Info Dump for busy business owners or entrepreneurs? How do you see that fitting in with them?
Oh, I see that fitting in seamlessly, right? It could be just as part of your normal routine that you're going throughout the day. You know how you wake up in the morning, you prepare for your day, and then if you were working remotely, like some of us are doing, right?
Yes.
Or if you're going to a brick and mortar, it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. In other words, you don't have to take a huge step or do a lot of things in order to incorporate essential oils and aromatherapy in your life. And I'll give you an example. So if you're a remote worker, you can have something as simple as a diffuser on your desk or your work area or the room that you're working in, right? You can, the diffuser is one. Another thing you can do is have a sniff stick. So you can create a sniff stick and have that on your desk. And, perhaps you don't want a diffuser. Some people don't want to, fool with a diffuser, but you can have something personal like a sniff stick. I have something like this.
Right. I've
Where
used
you
those
can,
before. I've
yeah.
liked those.
And you could just whiff that throughout the day. Right. So this is good also on the go. So if you're a person who has to go to a brick and mortar type of environment on the road, you might be a business owner who's out and about all the time. They do have diffusers for the car because they have the USB port, right?
Yes.
And little small ones. You have to be mindful of that because essential oils are so concentrated. You're in a car and you're a compact area. So I recommend a sniff stick or I call it my personal diffuser. This might not apply to, some of our individuals in the community. I apologize, but one of my secrets, if you will, is that I like to put one drop of essential oil in a cotton ball along with, I can put it, and then I am a walking.
You're able to, right.
All day.
You turn yourself into a diffuser.
Exactly. So that's, just little bitty, tidbits. If you don't create applications, now we're talking a little bit more advanced and take a little more steps if you're trying to create like lotions or things like that. So, but yeah, you can definitely do those things and have them with you all day, but that takes a little more preparation. But the sniff stick and having a personal diffuser, or a diffuser on your desk is probably the best way to make it easy peasy for you. So it's not,
too
cumbersome.
complicated.
Exactly. When you're a busy business owner. So yeah.
And that's perfect because I'm going to tell you something else. If you're a busy business owner and then you add the layer of having a neurodivergence like ADHD, and I might not speak for all of us, but for most of us, if it's too complicated, if it's going to take too much time, we will not do it.
Okay.
So the simpler, the better, and the easier, the better. So those are all easy ways that we can incorporate. You've just given us that we can incorporate aromatherapy to help us.
Absolutely. I'm glad you made that point, because another thing I forgot to mention is that if you have a bottle of essential oil that you've vetted through the process that you should be using, I'll get to that later. You can simply take that bottle of essential oil and have a little small sample bottle and take off the cap and just whiff from there.
I used to do that. Actually, I still do that. I would keep bergamot at my desk. And it got to the point where I would just have the bottle and I would open it up periodically and just sniff it to get that little pick me up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I have in the sniff fix. It's funny that you say that.
Oh, really? See, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep. It stays at my desk.
Absolutely. And it's better. I recommend, or so I was taught, to sniff from the cap because it's not as concentrated, because the bottle has a lot of concentration in it.
Okay.
And that's a lot. And you don't necessarily need to sniff from the bottle. The cap has more than enough.
It has more than enough.
Yes.
More than enough. Yep.
Yeah.
We were just talking about bergamot is what you have right now. With you, and I keep that at my desk too. And I'm not home. I'm not at home right now, so I'm not in my usual space. But that's what's at my desk. But that takes me to my next question, because I was going to ask you: can you share what some of your favorite essential oils are? Share some of those with us and how you use them, especially at home, at your home office, or while you're at work. What are your favorites? What are your go-tos?
Okay, so you already know me and my bergamot. I keep that. Another one of my favorites is frankincense essential oil.
That is a good one.
And I love using that. I actually have that frankincense and lavender.
Okay. And why those two?
Yeah. And so I actually have a blend of frankincense and lavender roller bottle that I use. And so those two are my go-to every day. That's part of my self-care routine.
Okay.
And I take the roller bottle and I put it on the both sides of my neck, and that's how I roll throughout the day. And another go-to is essential oil I love, 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 and just must have on hand is lemon.
I do like lemon too. That's a favorite of mine as well.
Lemon has all of my antis,
Okay.
antiviral, antibacterial,
I see where you're going with this.
antimicrobial, antifungal, antioxidant. So it has all of my ATs in a season that I'm in, me being in Michigan, we get moving into fall.
Yeah.
And then what comes into fall here, we just dread that S word. I won't even say it out loud. And so, you start to go through that season and you need to keep things disinfected.
Okay.
I even put out a video on YouTube where I was showing people how to use the lemon essential oil, because I don't know if you've seen in the news or news feed, they're saying that they anticipate us masking back up, right?
Yes.
And so I chose to take lemon essential oil, just, and I would take one drop and put it on the outside of my mask on either side.
I've heard of quite a few people doing that.
Yeah. Lemon, and it's not, overpowering, because some essential oils, you have them that close to you for long periods of time, it can be too much. But lemon is a light, airy scent, and our citrus oils are uplifting in mood too, right?
They are.
So
they are.
it's one of those oils that you can have on all day, unless you just don't like lemon or allergic to it, that you could be like, oh, okay, I can inhale this for as long as I need to wear.
As long as you need to wear it.
Yes, absolutely.
But I do love citrus oils because, like you said, they're very uplifting.
Yes.
A lot of times, even people who don't tend to do well with strong scents, because I've also found within the neurodivergent community, a lot of us deal with sensory overwhelm. And so strong fragrances, even when it comes to like natural essential oils, might be too much. But those that are in the citrus family tend to be the most tolerable. It's just an observation of mine.
Okay.
With me, with my husband, with my kids, and with other neurodivergent people that I know, the oils in the citrus family seem to be very tolerable and like appealing.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned with the children. So lemon essential oils, from my reference, is good for placing near a child while they're studying, to help them study and to focus. So that's a wonderful benefit.
That's a wonderful benefit, which is what we need. You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think I'm going to try diffusing some lemon when the kids are supposed to be doing some of their schoolwork. I don't know why I didn't think about that. That's actually good. So thank you for that tip.
But let me know how that goes for you. I'm always interested in sentimonials or testimonials.
I will do that. I will do that. But that brings me to the next topic of conversation. What are some of those common misconceptions about aromatherapy that you'd like to clear up? We've touched on it a little bit all throughout this session, this podcast, but what are some other misconceptions that you hear a lot or you see a lot when it comes to aromatherapy?
Oh, let's see. Where do I start? That all essential oils are created equal. They're not.
Okay.
And just because you like the way something smells, it's okay to use it. No. Or that you don't need to know, some basic things about the essential oil before you start using it. And that's a big misconception. And that, I will say this, when misused, they can be very fatal. I'll say that right off the bat, because I have
being honest, right?
I've seen studies where, unfortunately, some people may have ingested essential oils and it was fatal. Okay. I will say that. But when used appropriately, it can be a great benefit to the individual. But again, appropriately and safety is key with essential oils, and I'm definitely big on that. And taking them, and that you can take them internally. Some essential oils, yes, but I only recommend that under the care of a qualified professional.
Okay.
Because the concentration of essential oils is very potent. One drop is all it takes. So, or that more is better. No. More is not
Not
better.
necessarily better, right?
No, not at all. There's just a few misconceptions.
I like that one though, because that is a very common one. What I just from my observations,
Mhm.
people, because yes, they are natural, they are a natural substance, right? But as with all other things in the natural world, they
Mhm.
still have to be respected and used properly. Fire is natural as well, but you just can't go around lighting it up anywhere and at any time. And you have to use it carefully. You have to be discriminate, so to speak, when
Yes.
using it. And
Yes.
you need to know what you're doing. Can you correct me if I'm wrong on this? Scientists tend to design a lot of things that we have. They get their inspiration or their designs from nature. So some even medications might mimic the results that we would get from a natural substance like essential oils. But just
Mhm.
because it's natural does not mean that you can just use any amount and use it however. You still
Yeah,
need to know what you're doing and get some
absolutely.
guidance.
Absolutely. That brings me to 2 points
Uh-huh.
that you gets me to think about two different things. I just did a video about this too. I had a young lady on who has a biology background, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we were just talking about that very same thing with natural substances. You mentioned about how conventional medicine gets their inspiration. Well, yes, they
Yes.
take it from nature, synthesize it, and offer it for conventional medicine. And one of the things that she mentioned in her, because she was also a pharmaceutical rep,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
a biology background, pharmaceutical rep, so she's versed in that area. And what she was mentioning is that you can't patent natural products. I had heard it before, but I had
We
forgotten it.
didn't it right.
But you can't patent,
You
so
can't
that's why
patent
they
that.
can't patent that bush outside or that tree down the street. So that's why
That's
you have.
true.
That's why, in her opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to offend anybody in the medical community. However, you can't patent natural stuff.
Can't. But but it's true, you can't.
And then, secondly, I'm a tree lover, right? And so I subscribe to Arbor Day, and
Mm-hmm.
they had a calendar that came out. I want to say the calendar was from 2022 in October. There was a little blurb at the bottom of the calendar. Of course, they give with calendars, they give you all little cute pictures, and they tell you a little bit of history about the picture, right?
Right.
And at the bottom of it, it mentioned in so many words, and I hope I'm doing justice by saying this part, is that only 1% of the Amazon has been tapped for medicinal use, and that medicinal use is for cancer. So they didn't exactly say
Wow.
it like that, but they
Uh-huh.
were mentioning that only 1%. And I thought that was like only 1%.
Percent.
So what does that tell you? They realize too that nature
Mm-hmm.
is important
It's
for our
important.
healing and utilizing for our medicine. But again, you can't patent the Amazon.
So this is going to lead into the first thing I talked about at the very beginning that I wanted to mention that's coming up on
Yes.
September 30th, correct?
Yes.
Because here you are sharing some nuggets, some valuable insights.
Right.
How can we learn more about how to use essential oil safely?
Oh, good question. Thank you for asking that. So first of all, I would love to invite your audience to my master class on September 30th, 2023. And Ashley, I have the link somewhere for you to
I
sign
will.
up.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Or you can visit my website, Aroma Buds and Blossoms, and look for there's a link for the master class as well. You could, and in the master class, we're going to talk about the things that we talked about misconceptions. So I'm going to go over some general and broad, but very specific things that you should need to be aware of before
Mm-hmm.
before you start utilizing essential oils. And the name of the master class is just that: 5 things you should consider before using essential oils, because like I mentioned, they are not all created equal.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I will say this: you definitely want to get therapeutic grade essential oil, because some people might pick fragrances
Mm-hmm.
and that's not the same. So with the master class, you will have those 5 key things that you'll have at your fingertips, because you're going to leave with those tips at your fingertips to reference.
Okay.
How to select an essential oil simply, safely, and effectively for yourself or your loved one. I'm inviting all helping professionals, social workers, counselors, anybody, home users who want to know about using essential oils. And you might have been intimidated. You're like, well, I don't know what to do with it. Or I don't know how I should select them. Or I like the way they smell, but I'm not quite sure. Mm-hmm. Then definitely coming to this master class will, jumpstart you to using essential oils, not just that day, but even beyond.
Beyond that. Give you a really good foundation. But now let's get into the meat of it. So this masterclass that you're doing, that is a buildup to something else that's going to be debuting next month.
Yes.
That I know you are excited about. That's going to be even more helpful. So we have baby steps, right? So step 1, the masterclass.
Yes.
But if you do find yourself really interested and you want to learn more, what do you have coming out next month that will benefit them?
So I'm super excited about this. And so I'm expanding on my master class and actually offering a course, right? Aroma Buzz and Blossoms for beginners and Aroma Buzz and Blossoms business for helping professionals. And I'm super excited about that because it not only does it expand on the master class, but it is designed to be easy peasy, even for the person who, I don't like to study. I don't want to do a lot of, things or feeling like you're being in a college course. Absolutely not. And the course is designed all video, and you have some takeaways from those videos. And the videos talk about essential oils and using aromatherapy. But here's the good thing. Mm-hmm. I'm taking the guesswork out of which essential oils to start with. You might be new and you're like, well, which one do I want to start with? I like this. I like that.
Which can be overwhelming.
Exactly.
Having to make that decision paralysis. A lot of this. Yep.
I am making that decision for you, and I'm giving you essential oils that are safe to use from infancy to the elderly.
Even better.
So you don't have to figure out which ones to use. These are relatively safe, for that from infancy to the elderly, when used properly. Always disclaimer.
Right.
And you'll have the tools you need from the course in order to jumpstart you on your way to. You'll have the foundation from the master class, don't get me wrong, but going even further in the course, you'll have at your possession, okay, I have these essential oils that I could use right away.
Right now.
I have the information for them. I don't have to guess. As your aroma coach, I'm walking you through each and every one of them step by step. I'm giving you the resources in order for you to have supplies if you need them. I'm giving you worksheets. I'm giving you just the basic foundations. Oh, and bonus, there is demonstration on how to create the applications.
Nice. Okay.
So you don't even have to try and guess, okay, I have this information, but how do I do this? I give it all to you. I'm laying out the red carpet for you. So I think,
okay,
so that you don't have to do a thing except watch, partake, and that's it.
That is it. That is perfect. I'm telling you, that is perfect because so many times you touch on so many different things. Decision paralysis is a real and major thing. When faced with too many options or decisions, that tends to set in because we're just like, I don't know which one to pick. I don't know which one to do. And then we end up doing absolutely nothing. So you take the guesswork out of a lot of it.
Yes.
And then, not know exactly what to do. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to is this trial and error? Am I going to have to do this or that or the other? You take the guesswork out of that. You tell us, where to start. And then which one should I start with? Well, like you said, I do appreciate that fact that these are going to be the oils that will primarily safe to use from infancy all up to older age. So again, when should we expect that to come out? So I'm excited.
So the course is officially launching in October.
Okay.
Yes.
So stay tuned. So look,
Yes.
okay, you know what? So don't get overwhelmed. So step one, start with the masterclass September
Yes.
30th
Yes.
at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
And I will post the links to that. And then in October, just stay tuned and find out when the course is going to come out. And again, it's called Aroma Buds and Blossoms.
Aroma buds and blossoms for our business professionals and our home users. So the course is titled Aroma Buds and Blossoms Beginners and Aroma Buds and Blossoms Business.
I suggest that you guys also check out her other pages, like her YouTube channel, where you will see her as a Natural Ally D. Because she has a lot of good information out there and other videos, and you can actually learn more about Dani and go with her on this journey and
Yes.
helping people.
Yes.
And it's been a joy.
Oh, well, thank you for
Yeah,
having
it
me
really
again.
has been. I really appreciate you taking the time out to do this.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. And again, I applaud you what you're doing in this community and bringing this information to your community to share something, another tool in a toolbox that could be help for neurodivergent community and business owners. So,
Yep, just you have nothing to lose. Just go ahead and try it and take a look and see what benefit or how you can benefit from them, because I really do think that it can help a lot of us in the neurodivergent community. I really do.
yes.
So, yep. But once again, thank you so much for taking time out and for being with us and answering those questions and talking to us. And I will be excited to see your course, the master class, September 30th, and
Yes.
then October, the courses that come out.
Yes, absolutely.
All
Yes.
right, Dani Nelson, Natural Ally D. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
All right, everyone. Well, that's going to be it for today's episode. But before we head out, I just want to send a huge shout out and thank you to Danielle Nelson from Natural Ally D. And if you want to learn even more from Danielle, make sure you visit her website at aromabudsandblossoms.com. She'll be hosting a masterclass this coming Saturday, September the 30th at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And you'll be able to take an even deeper dive into the world of aromatherapy and learn about its benefits. But also, too, don't forget, keep an eye out for her upcoming course that's entitled Aroma Buds and Blossoms as well, which it'll be perfect because next month is ADHD awareness. So just in time for October. And that course will be available both for home users and busy professionals. So stay tuned for more engaging discussions right here on the Info Dump, where we continue to explore the intersections of knowledge, entrepreneurship, and neurodiversity. Bye now.